Good afternoon, everyone. How is everyone doing? I am super excited about this guest. We were supposed to do this, a couple months ago, probably. Let me fix my camera. And I had to cancel on her. And so she graciously accepted this invitation to come back. And I think y'all all know her. Hi, Meg.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for coming on with me. My camera's getting.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I feel so blessed to be part of your live lineup.
Right. Oh, so tell us, what is it like to be half, or as Alex says, 25% of
20, yeah.
LinkedIn's cutest couple?
My gosh. Yeah, he does take up a lot of space, bless him. And I am tiny, like 5'2". So 25%
the
makes
size
sense.
of a fairy, then that kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool. I mean, kind of when we started, we were just chatting, and now, all of a sudden people kind of like it, and like seeing us chat and have a bit of a back and forth banter in the comments, which is fun.
I think that's what it is. That's what kind of got me thinking of y'all as that, because I like both of y'all's posts, but I show it for the comments between you and Alex because just the banter back and forth is hilarious.
I always think on some of them, I mean, we never take it, ridiculously far or anything, but I do always wonder, because some of them were quite serious, because we both know we're joking, you all know we're joking.
Right.
Is people who come across us who don't know us yet, do they genuinely think oh my God, what do these two have with each other?
Right.
Do they do this post? Do they just not want to block each other? And are they really going at it?
Right. They just straight up trolling on each other's posts. Well, whenever you start getting links dropped in your comments for couples therapists in your area, then you'll know it might be a little too far.
Yes.
Man,
exactly.
Look who decided to join us. What is up, Andy? I tagged him in this post just for giggles and grins, and because he was complaining one time how he doesn't ever get tagged in any posts, so I just randomly tag him every once in a while.
Oh, that's dangerous saying that.
I know it. And this time I followed it up with go connect with Andrew Wills, and then
mass tag it now.
Give him a sales pitch in the DMs because he loves it. So yeah.
But then, Andy, can you send everybody the link that you were putting out? Because weren't you sending everybody to a referral scheme for you or something whenever people tagged you or DM'd you?
Oh, I think that's what you were doing. I should have done that.
I think everybody should do that.
Yeah, I could have made a little money off of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to start tagging you, Andy, randomly.
Yeah, I don't mind being tagged in posts. I don't like being tagged in posts when people do it. Hey, Martin. When people tag 30 or 40 people in the post just to boost their engagement, I don't like that. But if you want to tag the post, I don't mind.
I just ignore those ones.
Yeah, I do too. I remove the tag and ignore it.
Oh, can you remove tags, can you?
You can, yep. You click the, let me find it, and I will.
I didn't know that.
Let me, hang on. Oh, bear with me a second.
Because it always takes me a minute as well. When you're tagged in a post and then you get notifications about every single like and comment.
Yes.
And I always forget initially that you can mute the post. So normally, I get a good 50 before I actually kind of go, oh yeah, I can do this.
Yep. So I'm fixing to walk myself through it. Let's see. So on the post, like the one you tagged me in this morning, if I wanted to remove the tag, I would click on the 3 little dots and then go down to remove mention.
Ooh.
And your name will still be there, but the tag will not be. So it won't be the post anymore.
I'll have to remember that one.
Yeah. Yeah, remember LinkedIn user.
I'm Austin. I speak for all LinkedIn users.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about copywriting. I know whenever I first got on LinkedIn and didn't know anything, not that I know a whole lot now, but when I didn't know anything and I saw people with copywriting in their title, like my mind didn't even see the W in there, copywriter. I thought
Yeah.
it was like, man, there's a lot of people doing copywriting, like the legal stuff or whatever. So
I
tell
think a
us,
lot of people think that.
yeah. And then once I started reading like James Lorraine's post and your post, I was like, oh, these people write. That's why there's a W in there.
I like when I kind of first like started my business and was getting into it and was doing more stuff online and following a lot of people, they were all putting out posts, you know, like the difference between copywriting and copywriting, like this is not what this means. And I was like, people don't really know.
Right.
That's, you know, but obviously because like, you know, I know what it is, so I was just assuming. And then a few weeks ago, Alex's parents were here and his dad asked me, he's like, okay, so what is it that you do? What is copywriting? And I was like, well, I write copy. Like, you know, people come to me who need copy for websites and sales pages. And he's like, yeah, but what is it? I was like, I write the content for the websites and the sales pages. He said, oh, okay, it's the actual words. Like, it's not copywriting. And I was like, no, I like it's writing. I'm not like, you know, a legal kind of person that like goes after people who've stolen your content or anything like that.
Right.
And that was the first kind of thing I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should do a post on copywriting versus copywriting.
Copywriting, right.
Yeah.
So did you do one?
Pardon?
Did you do one? One of those
No,
posts?
I should though.
Oh, you should. Yeah, I got you.
I should. Yeah. Are you I'm a copywriter for myself. Yes.
So you do basically just like, who do you work for? Like, who approaches you? How do you get your name out there that people know that they can come to you to get their stuff written?
So, I mean, LinkedIn is my sole channel for sharing everything out there. So everything that like you guys see me put out there is how people are attracted to me. And I've been very fortunate in that my kind of personality and the way that I write things. I think it's quite good for people like me, like copywriters, because when you're writing, you're kind of literally making a portfolio of your work, like you're demonstrating it just like constantly. So I think it's a little bit easier for us. And so people were kind of, you know, luckily drawn to me. Mm-hmm. And so I've got some really nice clients that way. And then kind of from that, other copywriters as well, and, you know, kind of just extending my like network out from them. Mm-hmm. So I've been very fortunate, but I think a huge part of it is the community building and that side of things. Mm-hmm. You know, like I think the actual writing in my posts is such a small part.
Right.
And, you know, doing things like this and us chatting and, you know, that kind of side of things, I think has been hugely, hugely helpful for me.
Right. And that's, you know, you hear it thrown around almost to the point that it makes you sick, but that's the whole personal branding part of LinkedIn and building your network and all that is people come to know you and trust you and or feel like they know you because of how you're talking and, you know, Zoom parties. And now you're doing Chin Wag Tuesdays, which I think is just absolutely an amazing, like I'm a LinkedIn Live junkie anyway. It's such a great way to get to know somebody, but it's also a great way, like for like what you and Alex do, to get yourself out there and let people get to know you. You know what I mean? Like it makes you very approachable and makes people feel like they know you. So, oh yeah, Meg does copywriting.
Absolutely. It's weird sometimes because one of my clients actually who I'm working with now, they reached out to me. I'd never heard of them before. They'd never engaged in any of my stuff. Like I didn't know their name. And they said, oh, I've been stalking you for the past like month. And I was like, oh, right, okay. You know, that's interesting. And we got to call.
And not at all creepy.
Yeah, he's lovely. He's so nice. Yeah. He was like, oh, you're 26, aren't you? And oh, you do this. He knew so much about me already, and I was like, oh, wow, this is so strange because I knew nothing about him, but he kind of, you know, learned so much about me from everything that I'd posted, which was nice and so strange at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I haven't ever had an experience like that, but if somebody was like, oh yeah, this and this about you, I'm like, wait, did I post that? Did I not post that? How do they know?
Yeah, I wouldn't know now, like kind of all the stuff that I put out there. Like somebody could know something about me from like, like listening into conversations or like hacking into stuff. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I put that on LinkedIn.
Right, exactly. So you mentioned writing for like websites and sales pages and stuff like that. Do you ever do any like ghostwriting for articles or books or anything like that?
So articles, yes, not so much books, although that sounds really interesting. I would think I'd like to do that. Although I guess my focus is more on sales. So like I get people call it direct response copywriting. So like, hi Liam.
Hey Liam, glad you showed up, man.
So for people who want to make a sale or want to get leads, and that is kind of like my primary focus. So less like social media content that's a bit more fluffy and it's like the long game. And I've done that in the past, that's nice, but my focus is more on getting you business for your business, basically. Right.
Do you have a background in sales or marketing, or is it just something that comes naturally to you to write that kind of stuff?
I have a background in marketing, but I kind of fell into it like after university. So it feels amazing, but so strange now because everything is just kind of like happened and then like grown. Like I didn't go to university and go, I'm going to be a marketer or a copywriter or anything like that. All of my background, all of my schooling, like everything that I chose to do academically wise was all to do with like the performing arts and entertainment. So at like high school level, my like GCSE tests were performing arts, music. I'm a dancer on the side. I did my A-levels in drama, performing arts and music. And then went out to university, it was contemporary theatre and performance, which is very strange stuff. I remember doing a performance there where we had to kind of perform it straight, so like as it was from this play. And then we had this very, very eccentric American lecturer, and she was fantastic, but she was hilarious. And she was very into like yoga and all these kind of like strange like movement like type dance things. And so we had to take this piece that we'd done, this scene, which was a very, very awkward scene anyway, and then like add all of these like yoga poses and weird strange things into it. So I was sat on a table with gigantic the other guy was wearing goggles and I was chopping an onion up like in the middle. So strange. And the idea was these goggles were supposed to shield him from crying and like make me cry, but I wasn't crying. And he was it all, and he was like choking up for this singing. But in the background, we had people in tutus doing like downward facing dog, and it was the strangest thing, honest to God, ever. I have seen some weird performances, very strange performances, but that was like my life up until that point. And I realized I didn't want to go in a strange American.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
She was so nice. But yeah, she was a bit wacky.
Those to people that aren't dance people or artsy people, the dance people are always a little bit strange.
Yeah. And she's kind of, if you think of like that classic dance person, but mixed with kind of like a yogi, mixed with a kind of like 80s outspoken New York lady. Like that was her. And she was part of the Worcester Group, which was a very, very big theatrical movement in the 80s. And they did like all sorts of crazy stuff. Like they took LSD and then recorded themselves doing all this kind of weird stuff. And then their performance was watching it back and they had to do what they did. It was very, very strange. Yeah, that's contemporary theatre for you. Exactly. It's the weirdest stuff you've ever seen. But that's what I went to university for. And by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, this isn't really me. This isn't what I want to go into and do. I didn't want to go and like tour around, make my own little theatre company and go and like sleep on connections couches in like Germany and Spain to go to like random little arts festivals and apply for funding. Like that just wasn't me. Yeah. And so I was like, kind of what do I do? But I wanted to keep my hand in like theatre, but I'm quite I'm quite structured and that kind of thing. So I was like, what can I do that's to do that? And I just went back to my kind of little side job for a little bit after university while I was figuring out what I wanted to do. And then at the same university where I was at, there was a job going for a marketing and events intern. And I was like, okay, that sounds like something I could do. That sounds interesting. Yeah. So I applied for that, and luckily I got it. And so I did the year there. And then after that, I was like, oh, crap. Like, what do I do now? Like, I don't have an actual qualification in this thing. My qualification is in performance. Like, if I take that to, you know, like a marketing agency or somewhere with 1 year's internet experience, I imagine like somebody else is probably going to get it over me. But I was very fortunate because my manager at that time, her husband was a theatre director. And so they had a marketing position going, and she said, oh, like, you've been doing this here, kind of, do you fancy going for this? And I did, and I got it, thankfully. And I think part of that was because that connection there, she could kind of like vouch for the work that I'd done. So I'll be forever grateful for that. And so that's kind of how I fell into more of like I say traditional marketing stuff, but more of like the corporate marketing stuff. But I could stay in like the theatre and the arts, which was really nice. So it worked out like perfectly. Like, I could not have planned it at all. I was there for a little bit, and then COVID happened. We went into lockdown. Theatres were the first things to shut. The theatre that I was at still hasn't opened. So I was put on furlough, and I thought, you know, what can I do with this time to build something for myself? And so that's kind of, I was like, might as well, you know, like, you never know, do you? Like, anything could happen now. Touch wood, nothing ever happens again, but you just never know. So why not?
You didn't get into copywriting until last year?
So part of my marketing job, we were a really tiny team. There was only 2 of us in the marketing department. So we were doing everything. Like, we were doing all the marketing campaigns, the planning, the strategy, the copywriting. I was doing design work, social media. Like, we did everything between us. So it was full on, but it was really good because I got to do absolutely everything. Like, I wasn't a specialist in one particular area, which again, at the time I thought, oh my God, how am I ever going to get to move up after this? Because all the jobs were for copywriter in a marketing department, graphic designer in a marketing, you know, everybody wanted like a specialist in something. And I thought, oh, you know, I'm like the jack of all trades, you know, like good at everything, great at nothing. So, you know, what we do. But luckily, kind of everything so far has kind, you know, like rolling with it a little bit, kind of worked out for the best.
Well, good. Yeah, that's awesome. And, you know, doing that, a little bit of everything gave you that experience where you may not be a specialist at it, but you could probably do it. And, so, you know, tell them you can do it and get in there and do it. And then they'd never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People have asked me to do like design work for them, and I'm like, because I've done like little bits and pieces because I can do bits, and I'm like, no, you really like don't want me designing your whole website. Like, I can do like, you know, a picture here and there or these little bits, and I can find my way around stuff, but like, no, like, give that to a professional.
So, other than sales stuff, have you ever thought about like writing a book?
Like writing one for somebody else?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've not thought about it before. I think it would be so interesting.
Yeah. I was talking to, who was it? Val Ruskin-Hughes the other day, and she writes and she helps people tell their story, and she's never ghost written a book for anybody. But she says she would be interested in it. She thinks it would be really cool just to kind of listen to somebody's story and then tell it, turn it around or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the process.
Words. Like, when it comes down to writing something like that, I would be absolutely terrible at it, about trying to think of the chronological order and the flow of everything and how to make it sound appealing to the reader. You know what I mean?
I think that's a big part of it, though. Is like one of the things I really enjoy is that it's like pulling all of the pieces together. Like, I like to have so much information to begin with. Like, people will send me stuff and they're like, oh my God, you know, have I sent you too much stuff? And I'm like, no, you could never, ever send me too much stuff. Yeah. Send me everything you have under the sun. I'll take it all. And then, because it's like the opposite of baking, I always think. Is that right? In baking, you can add, but you can't take away. Whereas,
Correct.
yeah. And then with copywriting, it's like, I want to start with everything because I can like remove stuff and like get to the nitty gritty things that I like.
Exactly. Well, it sounds interesting as hell. So if somebody wanted you to write something for them, whether it was an article or something for their copy for their website or whatever. Hey, Eduardo.
Hey.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming by. They just have to shoot you a DM, huh? Yeah,
absolutely. On LinkedIn. I do have a website, but it's kind of on LinkedIn. So
what's your website? What's your website?
It's www.meganIredale.com.
Oh, Megan Iredale or Meg Iredale?
Megan Iredale. Yeah.
MEGHAN?
No H, just AN.
AN. MeganIredale.com. All right. It's in the comments now.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. I spelled it right. Awesome. So what's the next hair color? You talked about yesterday on Chinwag Tuesday that you were getting bored with the red.
I am. I'm that kind of personality that I get an idea in my head and I have to do it, but I also have to do it like there and then. I wanted to do the red and I was asking Alex, I was like, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? In the end, he just kind of gave up. He was like, you know, you're going to do it. So just go and do it. Like, it doesn't matter what I say to you. If I say don't do it, you're going to go and do it. And if I say do it, you're going to do it yourself anyway. So there's no point in asking me.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because my thing is always like, if I don't do something, I'm forever going to be wondering what would have happened. Like, even if it ends up terribly, I can be happy in like the thought that I know what the outcome is, but like wondering for me is the worst thing ever. So I did it and I liked it and I was like, okay, this is cool. And I've done it like 3 or 4 times now. But I'm quite faddy. I kind of get into things. I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And then like after a few weeks, I'm a bit over it. And then I'm like, okay, time to move on to the next thing now.
Yeah, yeah. So what are we thinking? Are we thinking another not natural color or like blue or purple or green?
Maybe somebody can give me some suggestions on what you think. Because I was just going to go back to brunette, but then that's also kind of boring.
See, I like brunette is not boring to me. I've always been a brunette lover. My wife has brown hair and I absolutely love it. Not that you need to do it because I said I like it, but it's not that boring. Hey, Rebecca.
My mom always said to me, it's only hair. Like, hair grows back.
Yeah, it grows back. And the beautiful thing about it is you can go get another color and put on it if you don't like it.
Exactly. Yeah, you can change it. It's like painting your walls. You know, you paint, you don't like the color, just go in for it. It's fine.
Yeah. But, you know, sometimes hair does not grow back. Sometimes you start losing it when you're in your 20s and it just does not come back. I've watched my hairline go from right here to back here over the past 5 years. Like, it is totally just weird. You can't really see in the glare. I got a light right above me, but yeah.
I mean, though, you with the cap, like sometimes I think you can kind of tell if people have no hair or not, even when they're wearing a cap. But with you, I always thought that you did have hair under your cap.
Yeah, I've been shaving it since like 2009 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whenever it first started getting thin, I was like, you know what? I am not going to be that guy that is pushing it forward or sideways or trying to, oh yeah. And my brother, he's a couple years younger than me. His hair has been getting thin for a while too. And we've been telling him for probably 5 or 6 years, bro, just shave it. And he would have it, like his hairline was way back here too, but he'd have it combed forward.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a long fringe.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. Eduardo said,
if you can't beat him, join them.
Yeah, exactly. He finally started shaving it.
I've been silver gray. I haven't. I've been very, very blonde, like platinum blonde. which I did quite enjoy. But blonde's just like there's a lot of upkeep in that. You got to like bleach and.
And it's
I did enjoy
harsher.
it.
It's harsher on your hair too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Like
I did wreck my hair a little bit when I was blonde.
You can't just keep the blonde on it all the time. Like there has to be time for it to rejuvenate or come back to life or whatever the term is for it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's expensive as well. Like if you have it done properly. I mean, I'm quite lucky because my mum trained as a hairdresser, but it was like way, way back. So last time I went blonde, she kind of kept it up a little bit for me. But if you go to a hairdresser, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is here too, man. It is unbelievable. So what is your natural hair color?
It's like it's a mousy brown.
Okay.
So actually, my profile picture, I think the ends of my hair in my profile picture are a little bit blondie because my hair that was the bits that like were all the blonde in my hair and like stripped from the color. But from like my roots to probably about here in my profile picture is my natural color because that's all like virgin hair. Like it was completely my own, had nothing on it. So like a very mousy brown. It's kind of grayish almost.
Really?
Yeah. In some lights it is, which is why like when my roots come through, you can't really tell on camera. It looks quite dark, but it looks I don't know if anybody knows that when you put dry shampoo on your hair and you get like a white kind of thing for a minute, that's kind of like what my roots look like when they very first start to go through. Okay. My hair is thin and it's not a good look.
Martin or Eduardo said bright pink would work.
Oh, do you know what I used to have when I was blonde? I did the dip dye pink. You know, you just have like the ends, and it was bright pink.
Hey Beth, how are you?
So quick.
Good to see you.
Hey Beth.
Haven't seen you in a while.
What hair color would you suggest? I like the idea of pink actually.
Yeah, pink wouldn't be bad. I'm not big on like the greens and the blues and like my sister-in-law does a dark blue. Ooh. Like a dark bluish black looking. You know how like in the Superman cartoons, he's got the blue kind of Superman comic book kind of, and that looks really good. Like I like that, but like when it's the bright royal blue or neon blue or whatever, I don't like that. I think it looks cool though too with just like those wild colors, just kind of in highlights or just as undertones. Yeah, you know,
they're nice. They're nice. I'm not so good with like the cool colors, like the blue and the green.
Yeah,
because of my skin tone.
Yeah, they're harsh.
Like it washes me out. Like before I did this, also because my hair like takes color whenever I put it on, and it goes a lot darker than what I think it's going to do. So I always have to get a far lighter color like on the box and know that it's going to be darker. So, but I didn't want to go all in with the red, which was my mistake. So I got a medium-ish red, and it went really dark, and it also went like a very kind of strange purple color, like not a nice purple color. And I immediately like lost like 5 shades of my face, washed me out. I was like, oh my goodness, I look like I've stuck a wig on, like, and I'm gonna, be a witch for Halloween. Like it was horrendous. I was like, get rid of this immediately. And I went out the next day and bought a stripper and got it off. And I was like, I can't go outside like this. This is horrendous.
Yeah. Mix of green, blue, and purple.
Ooh, maybe. Imagine that would be a lot to do, though.
That would be a lot to do.
A bit lazy, not going to lie.
Yeah, that would be a pain. Martin said he'll do pink when Eduardo does. I think y'all should do it. If y'all do it, I'll bring you both on my live.
Yes, you should. That would be good.
Yeah, that would be.
You do a fundraiser for it.
Oh, we could.
Yeah.
We could do a fundraiser. Poor Eduardo's looking for a job. I can just see him going in with pink hair to a job interview.
I have to get one of those, the color ones that are like temporary, just for like your roots, like bright blue hair or pink hair. But then we get like 5 cans of those and spray it all brunette, so it washes out at the end of the day.
I think the general consensus so far has been pink. Everybody has been saying pink.
Interesting.
I could see the pink.
Might do it. Might give it a go. I have to see.
So do your hair how you like it and be happy. Yep.
Yeah, very true. Very true. My sister used to do all of the colours under the sun. She had pink hair, she had orange hair. I don't know if she had fully green hair. I think she may have had like sections of it, and blue as well. But like, you know, the proper bright stuff. When she was in university, she's the kind of more fashionable one of the two of us. Like, you know, she wears kind of like the nice clothes, and she's very into like what's in at the minute, and she knows everything. Whereas I'm like 6 years behind everything. By the time I'm onto something, like it's not cool anymore. Everyone's like, that was so 2 years ago.
Yeah. That sounds like me. So do you do any more dancing? I meant to ask you that earlier when we were talking about it. Do you still do any dancing or theater
I do.
or acting or? Just
dancing at the minute. So I have a kiddies class on a Saturday morning, which we kept going throughout lockdown. We did it on Zoom. So we're all dancing in the living rooms, and we've been back to our hall, I think, for maybe about 2 months now. Which is interesting because they all have to stay in like little boxes. So every time we go in the hall, we have to like mark out spaces for them, and they have to like stay in their areas. So like I haven't done any like proper full out dancing of my stuff for a very long time, because one of the ladies who I run the class with, we used to compete together as an all ladies couple. But you know, we still can't kind of dance together like we used to. So it's not quite the same, but it's nice to be able to like get back into it a little bit.
Does Alex dance?
No. I tried to teach him last year when everything, you know, happened, because I also tried to launch a little like side dance misters for myself, and that was I say it was a failure. It was. I started it and then I had to stop it because it's like sucking the life out of my joy for it. And we were trying to get it to work. And then one day I completely broke down. I was like, Alex, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to do this. And he was like trying so hard to like help me with this business and make it successful. And for like 2 weeks beforehand, I was so resistant to everything. I was like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, I don't want to do this. He was like, come on. He was trying to be like really, you know, reassuring and help me along. And then I just had this like breakdown. I was like, no, I can't do it. And he was like, okay, you don't have to. Don't worry.
Right.
Just stop. So yeah, so I tried to teach him. I think we tried a jive or something like that. We maybe got about 2 hours in, and we never did any more.
Yeah. Whenever like I have absolutely no rhythm. I'm terrible at it. Let me turn that off. I play bass guitar, like I do really good at keeping the rhythm on the bass guitar, but when it comes to moving my body, like it's not happening. So whenever we got married, we have a friend that is they're a lesbian couple, and one of them is an amazing dancer. So we got her to come show me how to do like some basic half step kind of moves, so I could dance with my wife and dance with my mom at my wedding.
Oh, that's so nice.
It is like I am terrible at it, but like, and I don't drink anymore. But when I was drinking, like I thought I was great. Like I'd get out there and dance with anybody and just be stepping on toes, and just it was crazy.
Were you a dad dancer? Were there those kind of moves, or was it more kind of just like you kind of have like shufflers, and then you know the people who are kind of like, I don't want to do this, and then you have like the dad dancers who are like, I know I'm terrible, but I'm also just going to kind of give it everything anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of, well, I wasn't like out there doing all this kind of crazy stuff or whatever. You know, we did mostly like country and Western dancing. So like the Texas two-step or the half step or whatever.
I used to be a line dancer.
Did you really?
When I was little, my auntie and uncle, they used to go weekly. They were like really, really into it. They went to like 3 classes a week,
Mm-hmm.
and like dances and all sorts. And then how I got into it was my other auntie and my mom, they went for swimming lessons together. And so my mom needed somewhere for me and my sister to be, because it was evening classes and she couldn't leave us when we were younger. And my auntie and uncle were like, oh, we'll take them line dancing with us. And so we started going there with them like once a week, and, you know, doing like the electric slide and all, you know, all those kind of ones. And then we kind of did it a little bit more. So we did it for about 3 years and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you're right, Eduardo. When you're drinking, you do think you're on top of the world. I've never done any line dancing, just mainly just getting out on the dance floor and trying to two-step and stepping on. What is your favorite Disney character? And just read that you love Disney, and name your favorite Disney ride.
Oh my
Who's
goodness.
your favorite Disney character of all times?
Oh my goodness, that's such a hard question. I think if I was gonna pick a character, oh my goodness, I'd have to probably go for Disney Princess, and I'd have to say Cinderella, because I love Cinderella. I've only ever been to Disneyland Paris, although I really want to go. I want to go to the rest of the parks as well, but so I only know the Paris rides. Oh my god, what's my favorite? When I was little, I always remember going on It's a Small World. And I mean, so many people probably hate this ride.
That's the one everybody hates on.
And I love it because, and the reason I love it is because my mum loves it. And when we were little, what we would do is, because there was no queue, because nobody liked to go on it, is we would go on it and then we'd get off at the boat at the end, and my mum would go, quick, there's no queue, let's run around again. And so we'd run around, and you know how they have the really long queues with like all the turnstiles and all the ropes. And so you'd have like that far to walk, but you'd have to go through all of these like loops and things. She's like, come on, she'd have us both like in her hand, and we'd like run through the thing with nobody else there and get to the front, hop on the boat, go to the ride again, and then we'd like do it again. And I don't know why my mum loved it so much, but she did. So I mean, it's, you know, it's not a great ride, however,
but you have some great memories associated with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that one. And then I'll always remember they used to have Honey, I Shrunk the Audience there. They don't have it now. And I don't like things surprising me, and I don't like kind of things that are in my face. And it was a 4D interaction ride. So you had the 3D glasses, but then they all, like, when the big dog sneezed, you know, like they like shot kind of water at you. And I remember you were supposed to be in like a lab, and they'd shrunk the audience, and then they had these test rats, they'd let them out, and they must have had like little electric like shocky type things or something, like not electric shocks, because that sounds really severe, but something that made you think like that you had things like running around your feet. And I hated it. And I remember my mom and my sister tease me about this all the time now, and it's the worst thing ever, is I stood up and I went, I'm leaving, I'm getting out of here, I'm going right now, like, where is the door, I need to get out of here. And they were like, sit down, it's fine. I was like, no, I need to leave, I need to get out. And I was about 8 or 9, and they always tease me about it now, but it freaked me out so much. But I'll always remember that ride now.
Yeah. What is up, Jacob? I'm glad you stopped by, man. Hey. You did 3,000 character post this morning.
Oh, that was so funny. That was hilarious. Funny.
Yeah, I told him, like, I'm not a fan of the 3,000 character posts. I will very rarely take the time to read a 1,300 character post. But a 3,000 character post, I'm not going to do it, man. I had to read Jacob's though, because I knew it was going to be funny.
When it kept going, I was like, damn, 3,000 characters is long.
It's long, yeah. That's a lot.
It is.
I have never been to Disney World or Disneyland. My wife
Which one's which in America?
Disney World is in Florida. Yep.
Right.
Disney World's in Florida, and Disneyland is in California.
Right. Okay.
My wife went, I guess she went last year because it was during the pandemic. I guess it was year before. And she loved it. Like, Belle is her favorite Disney princess. That is her absolute favorite. Like that's her favorite Disney movie, the animated one, the live action one. She loves it. So they got to eat at, the Beast Castle.
Oh yeah.
The I'll Be Your Guest song and all that stuff. And the pictures she was sending me, like it was just nuts. Like she was like a great big old, little bitty old kid because she's a little bitty thing too. But she was just like a kid, just so excited, just to be there with it.
I am worse than some of the kids. Like some of the, when they start to get a little bit older and they're starting to get a little bit cool and like they don't want to do like autographs. Mm-hmm. Whereas I'm like, oh my goodness, there's Pluto. Like I'm going to go have pictures. I want to hug him. Get his autograph from my autograph book. Like I am 5 years old at Disney.
Dude, I've got so many pictures on my phone of her with the Disney characters.
Aww.
And she went with a friend of hers and her friend's 2 teenage daughters, and they were all, being teenage girls or whatever. And Amy, my wife, she was the kid in the group because she was a picture with every character. She was a picture in front of every.
You have to.
Big thing. Yeah, like it was nuts. Jacob, Beth wants to know what's your favorite Disney ride.
What did Beth say? Did Beth tell us hers?
Oh, she did. She likes Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Peter Pan.
I like Pirates of the Caribbean. That's an awesome one. Peter Pan. Is it the same in America where they have you're in like a little boat, but you're up, like attached to the ceiling and you go round? Is it that one? And then Haunted Mansion, I've never done, again, because I hate horror movies and I hate scary things. Honest to God, if somebody jumped out at me or something like terrible happens, I might punch somebody in the face. So I'd just rather not put myself in that position.
He's going to hold the purses.
Hold the purses. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. They had, when my wife went, they had, it was what's that movie? With the blue people.
Oh,
Avatar.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Inside Out then.
No. Avatar. They had a movie. It was, I don't remember if it was that one or if it was in Harry Potter at Universal. One of them, they had a ride that you sit on like a motorcycle and they lock you in. And it's like you're either, one of them they were working on and one of them they were building because she went to Disney World and to Universal Studios in the same summer. And the Avatar one was like you were riding one of those dragon things.
Oh, yeah.
So you were I think that's the one she said. Yeah, that's the one she wrote, and they were building the Harry Potter world. But she said that one was absolutely amazing because of all the colors and the bright stuff. And
that sounds good.
It was a roller coaster, so you're sitting on top of it, you're locked in, but instead of being inside of something, you're on top of something. So it was really just wild. That
sounds good. Yeah, but Paris is nowhere near as big, so like I think their main focus is on like characters and parades and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there are like a couple of good rides, and they have one or two. I say bigger, but I guess by like the American park standards, they're probably not big. So I don't think many people go to the Paris one. I feel like a thrill seeker.
Yeah. What about you, Eduardo? Have you been to one of the Disneys? Are you still?
Everybody should go to a Disney park.
Yeah, I want to go so bad. I'll make it one of these days. He did.
Yeah.
Disneyland. He saw it from far. Well, that doesn't count.
Which one? The California one is that Sleeping Beauty Castle, and then the Florida one, Cinderella Castle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She said the Cinderella Castle was kind of a letdown because there wasn't really anything inside of it. Or no, there wasn't anything inside of it, but they were remodeling the inside of it into a hotel.
Ooh.
It was going to be expensive as hell because it was going to be all this fancy kind of craziness going on.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And you can stay up in like the round part, that's right there in the center or whatever.
I want to do that. They're redoing a lot of the Paris ones. They're doing a Marvel hotel now.
That would be fun.
Yeah. That's where Alex would want to stay.
Yeah. So when y'all come to America, hopefully next year, there will be a couple of Disney trips in your.
Well, if I could probably drag him along to the other ones because they've got all like the other features as well.
Mhm.
That's the only way I convinced him to get Disney Plus, was because it had like Star Wars and Marvel on it as well. Like at first he was like, Disney princesses, like no. Then I told him about that and he was like, okay, then fair enough. So if I can get him to do those stuff and like Harry Potter and whatever, then I think we'll be good.
He doesn't do the whole Disney. He's not as passionate about Disney as you are.
No, I've made him watch some of them, and he's just he likes like the slightly newer Pixar ones. So he enjoyed like Big Hero 6 and what else did he really enjoy? I think it was Inside Out that he quite liked. And we did Cars to please him when I first got Disney Plus. I was like, we'll ease you in and we'll do Cars because you like Cars.
Yeah.
And we did Planes for him as well, and he kind of enjoyed those.
My wife sent me a TikTok the other day of this guy talking about his theory on the movie Cars was that Mater was actually a serial killer, and the junkyard was the rotting bodies of all his victims. And you have to think about it, that Lightning McQueen was the first new person to come into the town in a long time because everybody knew that Mater was a serial killer. I was like, oh my God, dude, who comes up with this?
Yes, but I mean, forever ruined Cars. Eduardo says Cars is underrated. Do you know what? I actually enjoyed it. I was very reluctant to watch it. I was like, oh, because I'm just not a car person at all.
I'm not either.
I just quite enjoy it.
I liked it. I like all the Disney movies, all the Pixar movies. Like I'm a big kid like that. Like I like all of them. I know, who doesn't like Lightning McQueen and Mater?
Yeah.
And like the guy who played Mater's voice, Larry the Cable Guy, like he's the, redneck comedian from over here that kind of epitomizes a lot of the people in my part of Texas.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
He's funny. I enjoyed the little like all of the different little personalities.
Yeah.
And how they match the cars. I think that's just so cute.
Yes, the way they do it, like they're so creative with it. It's crazy. And they've gotten where they're getting, or they've been doing it for years now, since like Toy Story, big name actors to play the voices of these people, of the characters.
Okay.
Like, of course, I was young, so I may not remember it, but like, back in the day when I was a kid and it was the animated version of like Jungle Book and Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. People that played the voices were not big name actors, but they are now in the new Disney stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, Ron White is great too. They call me Tater Salad. You like stand-up comedy?
I do.
Yeah. Ron White.
Should I check him out?
Yeah, Ron White is hilarious. He stands up there about half drunk with a glass of scotch and a cigar, and he's hilarious. So is Larry the Cable Guy and Rodney Carrington. Those are probably three of my top favorites. Rodney Carrington is raunchy as hell, but he is so funny.
I said to Alex the other day, actually, I was like, we need to find a stand-up comedy show that we can watch, because like when you just want to switch off in the evening, you're like, I don't want to kind of get into watching something that I have to like really focus on the story of, but I also like don't want to, go and do like the washing up or something. So I just kind of want to sit and chill, like stick on a comedy show and have a laugh. Yeah. But we, if I don't know if he's big over there, Michael McIntyre.
Michael McIntyre. I don't know him. If
you get a mo, give him a watch. He's so funny, and he's very British, but he's hilarious. He's like one of our favorites because a lot of what he does is quite relatable, but also quite stupid at the same time. And he's hilarious.
What is up, Michael Eckstein?
Hey.
LinkedIn's cutest accountant. I had LinkedIn's funniest accountant yesterday, and now I have Michael Eckstein.
That was so funny.
That was a blast.
Oh my goodness.
That was a good time. I'm thinking about opening it back up and doing a series of like 3 of those, and then doing a championship where the winner of the first 3 compete for
That would be good.
title or whatever.
Yes. Oh, that would be great.
And then what we need to do is have Eduardo and Martin come on with Pink Hair and do a fundraiser for the grand prize for that championship.
There we go. That's what we need. It's all planned out now, guys. That's what we're doing. It's happening.
Yeah, I'll be in your DMs later. Don't worry about it. Well, Meg, it's about that time, and I've got to grab a bite to eat real quick before I go back to work. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much for coming on. If anybody needs something written for your website or for whatever, has any questions, shoot Meg a DM. If you're not following her, follow her already. Or if you're not following her already, go follow her. I will be live with Chelsea Robertson at 5 p.m. Central this afternoon to talk about her newest adventure of coaching and ruining lives. And then Nathan will be live at 7 Central, I think. 8 Mountain, 7 Central. Yeah, 6 Eastern with Ariel Lee. They'll be talking about everything but what she does for a living. So that ought to be fun. Cool. Meg, anything else you want to add?
No, nothing. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Well, cool. I appreciate it, everyone. And I will see y'all in a little bit. Bye.
Bye.